Hi class, I'd like to start this week's video by once again thanking Dr. Reed Luquatio for providing the space and the inspiration to pursue everything that I've been able to learn in the last 2 weeks in regards to my final project. So I chose the Wabanaki people to concentrate on. The Wabanaki describes the place where the first light of a new dawn first touches Turtle Island. Historically, there have been more than 20 tribes belonging to the Wabanaki Confederacy, but now there are only 5. The Mi'kmaq Nation, the Houghton Band of the Maliseet Indians, Penobscot Nation, Passamaquoddy tribe, and Abenaki, ranging from Nova Scotia down to northern Mass and from the east coast of Maine nearwards into Vermont. A quick outline of what I was able to find and where I'll take you in this short video is there was restorative justice in healing circles in prisons, truth and reconciliation in regards to the Indian Child Welfare Act, the Penobscot Wellness Court or Treatment Court, and domestic and sexual violence. Just very quickly, this is an image of a double curve design that is super spiritual to Wabanaki people and used in a lot of their art. So we'll begin by diving into healing circles in Maine prisons. So Wabanaki Reach is a really important organization that focuses on decolonization and supporting the self-determination of Wabanaki people through education, truth-telling, restorative justice, and restorative practices. You can find this on their website. They first began their work offering healing circles in prison and even sweat lodges. James Manley was a participant, and this is one of his paintings that he contributed to the organization. These are 2 more of his paintings. Historically, you can find in Dawnland Voices, which was a book that provided me lots of incredible research and information on Wabanaki history. The Wabanaki people have great distrust in the criminal justice system and don't really believe in jails at all. There has been a historical event including an indigenous Mi'kmaq boy named Donald Marshall, who was sentenced wrongly to 11 years in prison for the false murder of a young black boy. And this story is held super true to Wabanaki people because this all occurred in the 70s and they feel like not much has changed since then. So Wabanaki Reach does as much as they can to offer RJ in regards to mending this big gap. Next, Truth and Reconciliation. In regards to the Indian Child Welfare Act, there is a documentary called Dawnland, which is so incredible. I super highly recommend it. It's about 54 minutes long, and it captures the story of a commission that was formed in 2012. It's the first attempt that the government joins forces with all 5 chiefs of the Wabanaki Confederacies and creates this commission to document and research and highlight the stories of victims of the Indian Child Welfare Act that were willing to share their stories. So after 3 years of extensive research with 5 commission members, there have been over 200 stories that have been recorded and lots of recommendations for how to move forward and how to bridge relationships and try to be as best of neighbors as possible. So the biggest takeaway in the published report in 2015 was that a cultural genocide, in fact, did absolutely occur, and also the statistic that Wabanaki children in Maine had been placed in foster care over 5 times the rate of non-native children between the year of 2002 and 2015. And this is Wabanaki Reach providing a spiritual drumming medicine circle for community members. The next section that had the most research and data recorded was the Wellness Court. And this is in the Penobscot Nation, but incorporates all Wabanaki tribes. And so the Wellness Court works with people that struggle with substance abuse and mental health or co-occurring disorders. They value nature and earth and everything being in circle. The program's 5 years old. There's 4 stages that they use. The tobacco stage is detoxification, cedar is stabilization, sage is treatment, and sweetgrass is maintenance. The program is 12 to 18 months long and has a success rate of 73% who do not reoffend. Incorporating ancestral traditions really creates a therapeutic system of accountability, and in the Wellness Court, incorporating restorative justice really contributes to less recidivism and greater takeaways. This is the sacred medicine plants used for smudging in the beginning of treatment courts. This is an arm and tattoo of a participant that completed the program and speaks highly of it. This is what the tribal court looks like. The last area that I wanted to share was bringing restorative justice into domestic and sexual violence within Wabenaki communities. The Wabenaki Women's Coalition of Maine, which is this picture, has found some research that in Wabenaki communities, some women have combined sexual and domestic violence rates as high as 80%, and that Native women are actually the highest victimized population in the U.S. by perpetrators of all races. This is the part where my research fell super short. I think it's because the Wabenaki Confederacy is still in the midst of trying to fight for their sovereignty and decolonizing and switching resources away from white social service providers and into the hands of community members, tribal community members. So I think they're still reclaiming their own voice and reclaiming their right to rule and their sovereignty, and they're in the process of rebuilding relationships and healing mechanisms. So on a last note, I wanted to share that there's still a lot of work that needs to be done. This is an image that Maine Wabanaki Reach provides, and this idea of just always being super conscious of how even my best intentions might impede on the true success of people whom I still am learning about and whom I'll never fully understand. The Wabanaki people are still trying to make adequate room for healing, and this is super, super obvious in the work that I've done, and might always be the case. There are strong forces working with them, such as the Women's Coalition, the Wabanaki Women's Coalition, and then the Wabanaki Reach, but there's also a lot of historically strong forces rooted in 500 years of aggression working against them. Yet still, it's so obvious the perseverance and innate wisdom of the Wabanaki people show up in all the areas that I discussed today, and in way more that I know I have not even breached the surface. I want to acknowledge that my research and presentation is very incomplete and imperfect. And this quote that Gail Warbeck, who was one of the 5 commissioners for the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, she talks about how we as white people want to go faster, fix faster, feel better faster, and actually historical trauma just doesn't work like this. And then I would like to end on a quote that really was super beautiful, found in Donland Voices, that the idea of freedom and liberty and giving back traditional lands and resources and recognizing tribal sovereignty they're not alien concepts, and they're also not threatening. And the leadership of the Grand Council of the Mi'kmaq people write on page 55 in Donland Voices that they are based, all these concepts just mentioned, are based on the reality of the historical record and on the prevailing norms of international law that guide the conduct of nations in the relations with one another. The facts speak for themselves. We will let you draw your own conclusions. I certainly have many conclusions that I've taken away from this research and all of the research performed with you all this semester, and I really look forward to continuing uh, further understanding just how we can repair harms done towards Wabenaki people and all Indigenous people. These are some sources, and I'll attach the video. And lastly, thank you all. I want to thank all people of Wabenaki Confederacy, all Aboriginal people across America, all of the incredible contributors that helped my understanding of RJ within Wabenaki communities, and this largely entails all of you. So much thanks. Can't wait to see you all doing great work out there. Much love.